Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy XIII 2 walkthrough. The previous video we had just turned in, I think it was Brenda's quest there for the Behemoth Fang.
The more dangerous a place is, the closer we may be to the center of the paradox.
So, alright, we will continue on. This card has not the person I was looking for. I think I'm just trying to figure out if I've got any more quests in this area that I need to pick up or finish. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I don't know that there is. Yeah, retrieve the lost watch. We can't get that for quite some time yet. And that's the only one I think I've got active right now. Or at least that's what it looks like. So I think we're actually done here for the time being. Yeah, so let's return, and we will find somewhere else that we need to be.
At the sub.
So we're going to back to the second iteration of the Yashas Massif, which is the 01X AF. It was explained somewhere that the X is basically a new time period that we created because of events that we've changed. And that happens actually a couple of times. It happens a couple times throughout the game. Alright, well, there's all kinds of NPCs with little chat bubbles. You know, generally it's a good idea to just check everybody.
Have you heard about this legend? Many years ago, there was a young girl who worshipped the seeress of Padra. With much training and dedication, the girl secured herself a position as one of the protectors of the seeress. But when war broke out in the city, the girl was fooled by the enemy and wound up betraying the one she set out to protect. Charged with treason, the girl faced severe punishment. She was turned into a Seath and was forced to wander the Yashas Massif for all of eternity. According to the legend, she's still there, waiting for someone to defeat her and help put her soul to rest. I don't know how much truth there is to that story, but if you ever spot a Seath in the ruins, you should do it justice and kill it. You'd be doing it a favor by putting it out of its misery.
Okay, this is the Gorgira. I don't know why, that really reminds me. Maybe they did that on purpose, I don't know, but it sounds a lot like Godzilla.
Remember, even though she used to be a human being, she's a monster now. Stay on your toes out there, or you'll end up losing your life.
Or maybe I'm just pronouncing it wrong, I'm not sure. Either way, I think it's kind of cute. So that is basically a seek and destroy.
I've been praying for the souls. Everything changed
so there
on
isn't
it.
an
A lot
item
of
that
time
we need
has
to
passed.
grab
I
and bring
used to
back to
believe
him.
that
We'll
if we
just
but
go
I've come
down
to
there and take
realize
care of that
that that's not what they would have.
Seath, and we'll get our fragment for doing so.
Do you know Alyssa? She's the director's right-hand woman. Some people out there are saying she charmed her way into the position, but I don't buy it. You have to have brains to hold down that kind of job.
Wow, okay.
This can't be. This is horrible. Can you spare a minute to listen to my ramblings? We uncovered a stone tablet, only to have it broken into pieces by some monsters. We hadn't even deciphered the engravings yet. We thought we had made the discovery of a lifetime, but now that dream has turned to dust, literally. I would give my right arm and more to go back in time and retrieve it before it gets damaged. You're going to search for the... Don't be absurd! Like I told you before, it shattered into a million pieces. It's gone. No other relic compared to that tablet in value. I don't see how you'd be able to get your hands on something like that. Wait, is that... This can't be. That's the tablet that shattered into pieces. Where did you get it? It's the real thing. The stone tablet tells the story of an ancient myth. According to some legends, the people of Cocoon and the people who lived on Pulse many years ago were born from the same ancestors. Can you imagine people from two different worlds being related by blood? It turns out the people on Pulse spoke a language quite similar to ours, so the legend may not be as far-fetched and absurd as some may think. I think we finally found a piece to a very important puzzle. The puzzle of our history, our background, our evolution.
This is one of my easiest missions ever.
Alright, so the Orb of Clotho, whatever.
No matter how
that
many
is
prayers you
the
offer, you can't
quest
bring back
that,
the
or
dead.
I should say the,
So we
the
need to
item
make
that
the
we
world
needed
a
for
better
it.
place.
We had already picked up in
Make
one of
them
the
proud.
earlier iterations of the Yashas Massif. The first trip we made through there, we
So
picked
tell
that
me,
up. So
when you find it,
that's a nice, easy one that we got out of the way. Well, this
If
is
a
Duncan
paradox
again, right?
originates here but is resolved, I wonder if it'll be like nothing ever happened.
Him?
People are quick to forget the past.
Okay. I thought there was another quest around here in this kind of courtyard area, but I might be mistaken. I guess we'll see.
Nothing to report today.
I've obviously already completed one,
There's a
and
theory that
the one there with
implies
Duncan we've
Living
got
in the
active. Again, I could have swore
Although
there was
even
one more here.
Excuse me, I don't mean to take up too
Just
much of your time,
researchers.
but did you see some strange lights
Here we
last
are.
night? Someone witnessed 3 stars falling from the sky. I thought it could be a meteorite of some sort, but there's no evidence of that anywhere. It's possible it burned up before it reached our atmosphere. If you see anything that looks out of place, please let me know. I'm counting on you. Come to me if you notice anything strange. By the way, the witnesses noticed something interesting about the stars. They said that all 3 of them were different colors. 3 different colored stars falling from the sky. Sounds like it could be connected to something quite mystical, don't you think?
I hope you find
Okay, so Lester's quest here is a little bit more demanding. It actually requires 3 different items to complete. I believe they are all found in this time period, though, so I will go take care of those.
A chocobo.
And we'll drive in style. We'll take the chocobo. Hopefully save a little bit of time. And at this point, I wasn't too concerned about encounters that I wanted to, you know, potentially acquire monsters. So I'm just gonna probably try to avoid as many as I can and get to where I want to go. To be honest, the getting the blue chocobo early on, again, because I was focusing on my chocobo party or pack of chocobos, you know, I wasn't all that concerned about a lot of the other monsters for the timing. Now, that being said, though, you can't just, well, shouldn't say you can't, you absolutely can. You know, just grab that chocobo and you'll be able to beat the game, essentially. But the other good thing about obtaining more of the monsters as you go is then you don't have to come back later and like try to capture them when you want to do or when you want to get some in-season abilities. So you know, not always a bad idea to kind of just kill everything you see. But anyways, if you notice there, you throw the throw Mog down into the hole there. And reason being, there's an emerald. Is that emerald? Emerald something. Anyways, it's one of the 3 items that we need for that class. Alright, so this is Gorgira. I don't know. I'm just gonna man mode this one. As far as battle strategy goes, the good thing about this one is it's a lot like that earlier. Actually, it's like a couple of the earlier quests where you actually can get a jump on it. You'll get a boost and crank up that chain gauge up to 120 right off the bat. So that's a good way to start. As with all of these fights, if you find you have any these fragments aren't like they're not super. They will be good at Some of them are just, again, if you're not able to take the stuff down, don't worry about it. The fragments are good, and they're good to get. Missing one or two here or there. It's, and saving it until later. Looks like I got him staggered, but I don't know if we're going to be able to finish this off in one stagger. It's not this probably would have been a good candidate to enemies to try to do some debuff for the Saboteur. Most of these battles are just again, man-moding them is what I say. You know, no real strategy, just go in there and rush them out. Okay, well, I gotta give myself a little bit of credit there. That was really, really well timed. So, that's how you want to use Meteor Javelin, by the way, if you've got it already. It's great because so the way it works is it empties the, or resets the enemy's chain gauge, but it does just a ton of damage. So basically, you want to, wait until that chain gauge is about to run all the way out, and then just swap to that, or use that ability. The kind of cool thing too about it is it does take a little bit of time to actually use it. So your other two party members can actually do some damage while you're using it. And actually, if you really want to do some crazy stuff, what you can do is have that Cerberus paradigm and swap to Cerberus so that everybody's a commando. Granted, that's I don't know. I actually don't really like Cerberus in this game. I don't find that it's all that great, but again, if you want to go that route, do some crazy damage. The cool thing about that is, while you're using Meteor Javelin, your commandos, if they've got Smite, will just pound the enemies for a ton of damage. I want to mention, though, those Necrosis enemies right there. They've got some really good infusion abilities, so if you can get a hold of one of those are great. And then on top of that, they make really good Saboteurs, too. So if you're looking for a early-ish game Saboteur, they can kind of fit the bill. Just right off the top of my head, they do have the HP plus 30 for their infusion ability, as well as I'm not remembering what was the other. Resilience plus 40%. So that's the resistance to debuffing. So again, if you're looking for a good monster Saboteur, that's a great one. The other thing that's actually kind of cool about that is if you do get one early on and you actually want to use it, again, you can power it up to however high you want to get it, and then later on in the game, if you want to find a different Saboteur that you want to use instead, or you just find that that's not something that you don't want to bother with, and again, you can actually infuse that monster into something else and get those his abilities. And again, they are actually really good for pretty much any monster. I didn't use HP on on my Ravager for the time being, but I don't know how. I don't really know if I can advise that. I mean, I'm getting a 30% HP bonus is kind of a deal in this game, so for your monsters. But anyways, what do we got here? Some trash enemies that I'm not going to do anything with. A lot of these monsters, I'll be completely honest, I feel like some of them just really stand out to me. Blue Chocobo, Necrosis, obviously. There's a few others, but for the most part, there's a lot of these monsters that I just, don't know much about because I've just never used them. But, I don't know, who knows, like some of them could be, or are probably a lot better than I think, but again, I'm a
flower?
fan
Isn't it the
of
most
those
beautiful thing you've
Chocobos.
ever seen? It's called the flower of Fenrir. It only bears fruit once every couple hundred years during the time of the eclipse. Unlike most flowers, it requires complete darkness to go through the process of bearing fruit. It's an amazing subject to research, but as you can see at this stage, it's still a flower. I don't know exactly how long it'll take or when it'll produce fruit, but I do know it's unlikely that it'll happen in my lifetime. But I can still hope, can't I? Really? You're willing to search for the fruit of Fenrir for me? I don't think it's possible to find one when there's no eclipse. Or do you know something I don't? Is there a secret way to obtain one? You say you found something that resembles the fruit? But how can that be? This is it. I can't believe my eyes. I don't know how you did it, but you found one! Thank you so much! Now I can focus on the research I've always wanted to do. I can finally figure out how this fruit is able to grow in complete darkness. Ever since the Fal'Cie became dormant, the weather on Cocoon has been pretty miserable. There are always dark clouds in the sky. I want to engineer a plant that will help cheer people up. I know many people have abandoned Cocoon, but I want to show people that no matter how grim things might be, there's always hope. Just like this flower can bear fruit without light.
Okay, so that was Bridget. Obviously, you need a chocobo to get up to her. And she's looking for the fruit of Fenrir. And that was the item that we got out of the treasure box, I'm going to call it, from Yashis Massif 10 AF. And that actually doesn't require a chocobo. It's actually found basically right where she's at, except like I was saying in one of the earlier videos, you can actually just throw Mog up to her.
3 crystals, all of a different color? Can I see them? These must be what fell from the sky, and I can only think of one explanation for what they are. Of course, I must warn you, it's not a very scientific explanation. Even though I'm a scientist, I try to keep an open mind. This is why I think it's possible there's some truth behind what I read in an ancient transcript. Long ago, the seeress of Padra offered 3 prayers to the night sky and made a prophecy. She predicted that her 3 prayers would take the form of stars and fall from the sky in the course of time. The colors of the 3 stars were stated clearly in the prophecy. It just so happens that they match the colors of the crystals down to a T. This can't just be a coincidence of some sort. The crystals are yours to keep. The people of ancient times believed that the prayers of the seeress had powers of protection. This is her gift to you from the past.
Alright, so I wasn't even paying attention when I picked up the other 2 items for Lester there, but we have delivered those and got our reward. So Bridget up on that plateau. The thing with her is because I had already picked up 2 of the quests here in like the, I guess I don't know what you want to call this area, the bigger open area there. Because I had already picked up 2, that's why she didn't have a message up above her head, or a chat bubble above her head when we passed by her the first time. Because I did jump up there with her. But again, you can basically only ever have 2 active quests in a single area, so she was not going to give us that quest at the time. So once I finished the Gorgira fragment, then I was able to go up there and initiate that quest with her. So now it looks like we are ready to head for the gate, because I think we're done now with this time period for the time being.
In 13 AF, the Academy built the Augusta Tower as a central information processing facility with an enormous artificial intelligence at its core. But now, centuries in the future, the system has suddenly begun to run amok. Somehow, the network system was attacked from somewhere in the future. When the Academy tried to respond and shut down the system, it was too late. The AI had already taken control of much of the Academy.
Alright, so the next area we are heading to is the Augusta Tower in 300 AF. Now, this is actually I don't want to call it an optional area, but we don't really need to be here quite yet. But I do think it's a good idea to get this stuff done now, and then that way we'll be kind of prepared when we make our second trip.
Two entities from different times cannot coexist. If this were to occur, history would be infused with contradictions. This would lead to a distortion causing the entire world to collapse. The subjects require further analysis. Hypothesis. Their existence has initiated a distortion in history, and the entities are a living paradox.
I'm not very good with all this fancy machinery. What's going on here exactly?
The system that controls this facility has been hacked by someone from the outside. Wherever they are, they're trying to use the network in an attempt to override the system somehow.
So basically, some bad guy snuck in and took over the tower? Well, there's an easy solution for that. We just need to find him and solve this whole problem. Case closed.
The security system's been hacked too, so the security bots are just pieces of metal. And I don't think the person behind this is actually physically here. It seems like the culprit isn't even in this time at all. They're accessing the system from somewhere in the future.
Lucky for us, we have the means to get there. Let's give them a piece of our minds. Come on.
Okay, so a bunch of nonsense that doesn't make any sense is happening, and we need to do things to stop it.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay, so here's a little tutorial on the revolving rooms. There's not much to it, it's pretty basic stuff. Basically, there's a bunch of rooms in the tower that need to be rotated in order to access different areas. So, as we go here, I'll try to point out which ones we need to rotate and how many times we need to rotate them. Augusta Tower is... I try to do as good a job as I can in exploring all of it in one trip. I don't know how well I did. I feel like I must have done pretty good because I only remember coming back here once. And it was actually because I couldn't progress any farther. So that is my recollection, but... if not, we can always come back if we absolutely need to. I generally try to avoid that, but again, sometimes I'll miss just a little bit of an exploration, and that'll obviously require a return trip. Flanator, that was I think that was the enemy that we just fought. I think those are actually decent. I think that's a medic. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that, but that was what I was thinking off the top of my head. But yeah, again, if it is the medic that I'm thinking of, it's a pretty decent one. Again, generally though, I've tried to really stay away from anything that wasn't a joke. I knew that was kind of going to be my final setup, so again,
maybe this is a paradox of some sort.
Didn't concentrate much on any others. Alright, so this room, it looks like we're going to need to rotate this twice. Just looking at the mini-map there and kind of the way,
that's how it's done.
The odd shape that it's in, it looks like we need to rotate twice. And then here, I was just making sure that I explored this area fully before I moved on. The device in the middle of the room, so we have an elevator. No kidding. here? 800 gil! Another massive slap in the face. Thanks, but no thanks. Chump. You can make 800 gil in like one battle on the Earthbound stuff. That might not even be accurate, I'm not sure. that could be false. Alright, so we are on the 14th floor now. I'm trying to think if it really helps to know what floor we're on. Not really, sort of, kind of, I guess. This treasure sphere might only be obtainable with the Mog throw. It looks like that's the case. I don't think that you can actually get out there, and if you'll notice, it already shows up that it's explored on our mini-map there. And again, I think that's because you can't actually get out there, so it basically just automatically is flagged as being explored. And then I'm kind of just trying to make a circle here to see where we can actually go. And it looks like I think this is the only spot now. I'm going to need to rotate this room at least a couple of times. Some Final Fantasy 13 victory music for you there if you picked up. It actually might be the same as this one. I can't remember now.
That's how it's done.
Which is kind of pathetic because I've had many victories so far in this game, and I can't remember what the like the victory music is. Pretty sad stuff. Getting old, apparently. Memory is not what it used to be. Now I didn't catch how many times I rotated that room. I feel like twice, but again, I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy yapping.
I don't think that's enough.
'Cause that's what I do. So we need to rotate this one at least twice.
No, we didn't.
There we go. In some of these rooms, you'll have to rotate a couple of times and then like go out and we'll do something, interact with something, and then go back in and rotate it again. So I'll try to. Flanborg, I don't know, that's not standing out. I think it's the Flanator. Flanator, I think is the name of the medic I was referring to earlier. But it does look like we've got an out-of-phase treasure sphere in this area, so we'll just uncover, reveal that. Our vitality slivers. Nah, not very useful, but whatever, I'll take them when I can get them. I may use them someday, who knows? I don't know that we actually had to rotate this. Maybe we do, and I just don't know. We'll see. It seems weird, though. It seemed like the way that the path that I wanted to take was already open, but maybe not.
Let's give it another shot.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to get back to the start. I thought I missed something, and I even missed a treasure sphere on the way through that room right there. But I wanted to make sure that I explored this area here in the inner, like this inner circle, and I actually already did, because there's just there's no way to reach any of these platforms from the center other than this little platform that Chocolina is standing on. So I actually that was actually pointless. So when I was spinning the room there, that first room, the second room of this area, there wasn't any reason to do that as far as I could tell, or as far as I could tell now. Again, I did actually think, or I thought that I had missed something, which technically I did, but I didn't actually need to rotate the room there in order to discover that. I just want to check here. I'm kind of cruising through my inventory here. Flanborg. Flanborg is a commander. Yeah, and the Flanator is a medic. I don't know if I've run into those yet. I feel like I think we just ran into Flamborgs. I could be wrong. I might have missed something there.
No, we didn't.
Anyhow, alright, let's continue on now. We've got this platform that we can use to take us, I think, to this is the next floor, it looks like. Okay, so we are on the 15th floor now, and we need to investigate the mysterious room. I don't know what's all that mysterious about it, but maybe we'll find out. Okay. We'll revisit that in a bit. Now, I don't remember if we absolutely needed to take that lift. I think we did, actually. As opposed to just interacting with the elevator in the center. I don't know if the... I mean, I feel like there must be a reason why we had to take that, or why I took that lift instead of just taking the center elevator. Great. So lame. Kind of trying to avoid a lot of these battles just because I don't know how fruitful they will be. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a better term. Might do it though. Really, a phoenix out? Look at this. Look at this stuff. Why are they putting this trash in treasure spheres anyway? What's going on? Anyways, so I think, or hopefully here I'll explore as much as I can before I go rotating rooms. I generally think that's a pretty good idea. Or I'll just stand here, you know, for 10 minutes. Alright, boy, I've already lost track of how many times I've rotated that room. I feel like it's a lot already. It's probably, I'm gonna guess 3 times? Stab, yeah, I think from the initial position that was 3 turns. Again, if you're watching the mini-map, it's pretty easy to figure out where you need to turn this stuff. And then this will, I think we'll turn this one twice. Yeah, because we'll just get the door to where we're standing, and then we'll go inside. Stuff's gonna happen. Hopefully fun stuff, not nonsensical stuff.
Welcome to the Academy DataNet.
Okay, so there's a password here. I actually don't even remember how we know the password. I think I did notice a 2 pop up when we walked into this room, and so I think that the password actually is given to you as you kind of traverse the area. I'm gonna go with X, which was I don't even know. But apparently it was right. And that's our entropy board fragment.
And our work here is done. No more intrusions from the future, right?
It looks like we're safe. The network's back up and running.
We never got to find out who was behind this whole thing, did we?
Yeah, I don't know who it could be. Who would go through all the trouble to take control of a tower from the future without a demand of some sort?
It really makes you wonder what they were after, huh?
Analysis complete. Due to actions taken by the subjects, a possible future has been deleted from the timeline. The subjects pose a serious threat. For the security of future operations, precautionary countermeasures are being initiated. Subjects will be eliminated.
Okay, so here we get access key 50, and whatever computer thing this is that we're dealing with has said something about these subjects may have, or the actions taken by these subjects deleted a timeline, which apparently means that we deleted something off the timeline. Because I think we're the subjects. I think that makes sense. But anyways, I completely out of time here. This video actually flew by really fast. But as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. And as always, thanks for watching.